Hello, everybody.
What's going on, peoples? What's going on, Meisters? Nice to see you. Everyone's in the house. Sorry, but we got a copyright infringement put on us today from YouTube with our intro, so we had to play the 30-second countdown. But we're going to have Grismatic. I spoke to him today, and he's going to do the same intro but different song.
Yep.
So we had to take care of that. But we got a good show coming up tonight, people. It's nice to see a lot of you. Sloopy, Mike Baker, Sweet Caroline, Digital, Melissa, Kimberly Bosley, Polygraph. What's going on? Boss, you're great.
David, thanks for the shout out. He says I'm hooked.
What's going on, fangirl? Jill? No, Digital. I'm not dressed up. I just felt like throwing it instead of looking like a bum. And she won't be with us tonight. Stephanie won't be with us. She's got family things going on, graduations and things going on like that in her family this weekend, so she's not going to be here.
No. Yes, Adventures with Purpose did an episode on Karina. So, Purdue's in the house.
Hey, Purdue.
Olivia 2, Sweet Carolina, Sloopy. Olivia 2, yep. Yvonne's here. TTM Fangirl, how you doing?
All right, we already got our first super chat or super sticker.
Oh, thank you so much, Marie, for the super chat. She says, love the live. Thank you. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Melissa says, Marv, how was your daughter's graduation? It was so good. Only cried a little bit. Kept it together most of the time till the end, and then I lost it. Kimberly says, looking forward to seeing my friend tell her story. True Crime Web says, taking notes.
Hey, Steve, how's it going, buddy?
Welcome, Steve. Glad you're here to listen to this one. So, everybody, this is another family that needs our help. Karina's been missing for 5 years, and they still have not found her. The family on their own is still searching. So depending on what happens, we may put together a search party.
We got another super
Kokomo,
chat.
Indiana.
We got another super chat.
It's a criming shame. Hey guys, have a great live. XO, Sunny, Deb, and Adam. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it. All right, I'm going to step out here. I'm going to let Frank Meister talk to you here, and I'm going to make a phone call.
Yeah, this is a pretty strange twist in this case when it comes to Karina, guys. I mean, we've got information on allegedly what supposedly happened to her and how things transpired, but she's getting ready to call the grandmother and on the phone, and we're going to have her by phone, and she's going to explain details of what she has learned from LE and Kokomo, and from what information we've gathered. So as soon as she gets her on the phone here, we'll get started. Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. Sally Ann, nice to see you. Vanessa, Mary. Dee's in the house. Olivia. Yeah, smash that like button, people. If you're not a member or a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel. Dee, Lynn, or somebody, please, can you drop It's a Crying Shame's link, please? Yes, Digital is the grandmother. Thank you, Sleepy, for the super chat. Much appreciated. No, thank you guys for tuning in. We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you guys. You guys have really pushed us to keep this channel and these cases going. No problem, Sonny. No problem, guys. Anytime. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Dee. Still waiting to see what's going on here. Yep, she's on the phone with her. Give us just a second here.
Hi, everyone. I'm back. I have Gerry, Karina's grandmother, on the phone with me. So,
Hello.
Hi,
do you want to
Gerry.
say hi?
Hello,
Hi, Gerry. This is Frank.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you by phone.
Frank says hello,
Okay.
and he's my partner. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Karina when she was younger and growing up?
Well, she was a character. She loved to laugh and joke, and her and her sisters would pick play at each other, and they would all be just laughing around in the bedroom and teasing each other, and they'd be pulling pranks on each other. And she had to have all of her teeth capped. My son brought this up the other day. She had to have all of her teeth kept in her mouth because she was lacking vitamins in her system when she was being carried. And we all used to tease her, tell her to stand close to the TV so we could watch TV better, And she would just grin and laugh and chuckle. And she was a beautiful baby girl. She grew up to be a beautiful young lady. She loved her brothers and sisters. There was 6 total, including Karina.
Okay.
And she loved them very much. Plus, she had brother and sister on her mother's side.
Oh, so she had a lot of siblings then.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So where did she fall in the age range of the siblings?
She was the second daughter of my sons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was more at the top of the age range.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So that would explain, looking out and taking care of all of her siblings. And
Yeah, she has a new baby brother that's going to be 3.
oh,
And she'll never know him. She's got a new niece. She's going to be 4. And she was named after her. Her name's Kata, after Karina. And she'll never know her.
yeah. So what was she like in her teenage years? What kind of things did she like to do?
she loved music. She liked Alicia Keys. She liked to get on the computer. And like I said, up till if Karina was here today and you put her in a room with her two sisters and her brothers, you'd hear them just giggling and laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a normal teenager. Yeah, she acted her little butt out a little bit, but the rest of the five did too. You know. I remember one time I was out there babysitting and I asked her. I said, "Karina, why don't you want to do these dishes for my mom?" She turned around, she looked at me, she says, "These hands, they don't go in nobody's dishwashing liquid." I said, "Girl, you need to go sit down somewhere."
So she was sassy too.
Yeah, she and then she laughed and she kept on stepping, you know.
Yeah.
I said, "That's okay, because I got to fix your plate. You ain't gonna like what's on it." But yeah, she was a teaser, you know, like that. She was modest. She wasn't flamboyant. She I don't know. She was.
Hey, Gerry, if I could reach through the screen and give you a hug right now.
Some of the others were more outspoken than her.
Yeah.
But she was a good kid. She just got introduced to the wrong people.
And that happens, you know, as kids are growing up, you know, they're trying to find their way, and they tend to hop groups of friends until they find a group that they like, and sometimes it's the wrong group.
Yeah, she was introduced to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And my son took custody of her. I forget how old Karina was, 12, 13, 14. And they moved to Crawfordsville because there was work there. And she didn't like it because she was away from her friends and her mom. And she started just throwing little tantrums, you know, nothing major. She didn't go through the house and tear it up and all this mess. She just started throwing small tantrums. And they got a little bit stronger and stronger on the tantrums. And Jimmy called. He said, "Mom, what am I supposed to do?" I said, "Well, you can't whoop her because you're a big man." He said, "I ain't going to whoop her." He said, "I have to bring her back to Marlena." And so he brought her. She made a phone call, and Mama came and picked her up. And after that, Karina just went down the wrong path because she had no supervision.
Okay.
Because when you live with Jimmy and you're his child, you have supervision. You do your homework, you do your chores, you sit down and eat, and you take your butt to bed. And if there's enough time for family time, we'll have it, you know. The school came first.
Right.
The school came first.
That's the way it was when I was growing up.
But they had little get-togethers. He always made sure she always had good clothes. She always had the best of everything that he could afford. All of them did. You know, she wasn't doing without. She just wanted to be around some of her old friends.
And now I'm assuming that the group that you're talking about, they were into the drugs.
The ones that she was introduced to, yeah. And someone unmentionable was feeding her lower tabs and getting her all messed up and smoking weed with her. She told me that herself. She told me the person who was doing it. And that's when I sat in the truck with her, and I told her, I said, "Well, you don't have to go this route, you know." And she told me she had met this one man, and he would give her anything she wanted. I said, "Well, you don't have to do this. You come in with Memo. Then I'll help you. Get in school. Get back in school. Get a car. Get an apartment. Just get a Kia. I'll help you. You don't have to go this way." And like I've said before, the last thing I heard my granddaughter say was, "I'll be all right, Mama." And she hugged me, and we cried, and she got out of my truck and went into her grandmother's.
So that day that she went missing, you said that she was at her mom and her grandmother's, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And you said,
Call.
oh, go ahead.
We made a phone call because Karina was getting on their nerves. Supposedly, this is what she told my son. She was getting on their nerves because she couldn't find the little guy that she was seeing. So they picked up the phone. One of them picked up the phone and called the little girl to come pick her up. And then the little girl drove around with her, and then she finally dropped her off at this man that she told me about's house on South Washington. And she'd never been seen again.
So all this time, if you go and you look at articles online and listen to other podcasts or live streams, it talks about how she went to a party, and that's not true at all.
No, it was not true at all. She did not go to a party. I don't know where they got that from. I know her dad made a statement that she said she would like that party one more time. But she was not going to a party. She was looking for the little guy that she was seeing named Isaac. God rest his soul. And she couldn't find him. She got on the mom and the grandmother's nerves. That's when they made a phone call to this girl and had her come pick Karina up. And I've spoke with the girl. She told me, yes, I drove around with her for a little while. And then I took her to the man's house. She walked up on the porch. She gave me a thumbs up. And I gave her a thumbs up, and I pulled off. And she almost had a nervous breakdown over this. The girl did.
Oh, wow. I can imagine, especially after she went missing and nobody saw her because she was the last one with her and dropped her off there.
Right.
So I had asked you earlier, rumors in the past have been that the man that Karina was dropped off at was Gabe Ellis, and you had told me no, that is also false.
Yeah, that's not true. To our knowledge, that's what Gabe said. The man is FF, and Gabe Ellis came in later when he contacted me from the jail cell and wanted to talk to me. And then he told me the story of how Karina got to his house. He opened the door. She fell out, and she was in respiratory distress. And he said, I picked her up, Miss Gerry, the best I could, and I put her head on the seat and her feet over the back because I couldn't hold her. She was too heavy. And I closed the door, and I told the girl to get her to the hospital. She was dying. The girl wouldn't leave, so he went back in to get his dog, and when he came out, they were gone. Now, the police say that Gabe lied. He wanted out of jail. But every single person that's walked through that door, KPD has stated they're all liars. They're all lying. And Gabe just wants a way to get out of jail. So they pinned 17 years on him for drugs instead of anything else.
Well, and that's the thing is, he may have wanted out of, telling you this wasn't going to get him out of jail for the drugs. Yeah. So that made no sense what the police said.
Right, and he told me that, and he called me and asked me to come back out again. So I went back out there the second time, and he told me, I said, did Webster come? Oops, did he come see you? Did the lead detective come see you? He said yes, and he threatened to arrest me if I spoke to you again, because he told me he wanted to speak to the lead detective and his lawyer together because his lawyer knew the entire story. Well, I went down there and I told the lead detective, and he attacked me verbally in the little room, and he interrupted me when I got to the part of her being in respiratory distress. He said, how in the hell does he know he's a damn doctor? So I started the story over. I said, sir. Then he interrupted me again. I said, all I know is it's on tape. If you don't believe anything that I'm saying, sir, you can go out there and listen to the tape of Gabe talking to me. Well, Gabe told me that he went out there and threatened to arrest him if he spoke to me again, and his lawyer dropped him 2 days later.
Hey, Marv.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, Detective Steve
Yeah.
sent me a message and he said, when you talk privately with Gerry, you can let her know if she wishes to talk with me, she can. Any findings I will do as your guest if she agrees to release information.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can she hear that?
So, no, because she's not watching the stream, so it's just her and I. So if you have questions for her, let me know and I'll ask her.
Just go ahead and mention what I just
I will
told you.
in just a minute here.
Okay.
One of the things, Gerry, that you told me is that Kokomo police should have never had this case to begin with.
No.
Because there's a major conflict of interest when it comes to most of the police officers and the suspect. They all went to school together. They all are friends with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want the audience to know that
every single detective told me, oh, I know him. He ain't shit. Excuse me, but he ain't shit. And we grew up together. One of them told me I know his family very well. Went to school with him. Even the prosecutor knows him. Stated, I went to school with him. He ain't nothing.
Right.
You know, they should not have been on this case. It was conflict. Now there's only one detective down there, Benzinger, and he's an ATF guy. What's an ATF guy doing on my granddaughter's case?
Right.
She wasn't into no guns. She wasn't into none of that mess. They just passed it around. Every time you turn around, it was a different detective on it. Every time you turned around. The lead detective finally became the chief of police. The other lead detective took her job. One of them got demoted back down the streets. You know, it's a mess. It's a total disaster. And they tell us we're working the case daily. If they were working this case daily, that computer would have exploded by now.
Right.
My son has never seen a piece of paper with Karena McClerkin's name on it. And then the other day when we searched, the guy had enough nerve on the phone to tell my son. My son said, so what am I supposed to do, sir? Keep looking for her body. That's something to tell a father. Why aren't you looking for her body? We've never seen anywhere taped off, roped off, nothing. And we've traveled over 500 miles in and around Kokomo searching for this child. We've never seen him search anywhere. They didn't search this man's house. The neighbors told me he was in and out in 15 minutes. Did they carry it out? No. I found blood in the house on the carpet. Went down there and asked him to pick it up. You want me to go down and pick up carpet out of his house? So there's blood all over that carpet. They're redoing the apartment. Can you please just send a detective down there to see if it's Karina's blood? They didn't go get it. It was on the alley the next day.
Oh, wow. And I just want everybody to know that anybody, including Gerry and Karina's father, anybody who asks for any information on this case, whether it's the family or somebody like me with a FOIA request, they're turned down. Kokomo Police does not even respond to them. I think one person has responded and said, you're going to have to go to the prosecutor.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
We are putting in a FOIA request, and if I have to take it over everybody's head to get this information, we're going to do it.
Good luck.
And if I have to file a lawsuit to get it, that's what we'll do. Because Kokomo Police is not going to hide anymore.
They don't like me down there because I was taking evidence. Whatever came to me that sounded, like it could be real, I took it down there. And they, a rumor came to me she was in a freezer in a vacant house.
Mm-hmm.
And my main walking girl lived across the street and walked with me all the time. And they went over to her and asked her for a screwdriver. She said, yeah. So she gave him a screwdriver. They walked back across. She didn't know I was going down there with this information. So they come back and handed the screwdriver back and said, she said, is everything okay? He said, oh, some crazy lady in a purple coat comes in. There was a body in the damn house in a freezer. So they labeled me. And when I asked them to go down and check the house, for Karina to be in a freezer in an abandoned house. You want me to go check an empty house, abandoned house, for a body in a freezer? I said, sir, you just found one about 10 years ago over on Elm Street. A man was put in a freezer dead. Will you please just go check? We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. It's ridiculous the way that police department has treated you and your family.
Well, they threatened to arrest my son because there was a little gal down in Florida. A film came up of a little gal that was involved in something, a drug deal or something that went bad, and it resembled Karina. I looked at it, I watched it, I said, God, please let me see if this is my granddaughter. And my son, they called my son in. Florida cops come up here. They had Jimmy in a room, they had the mama in a room, she's over there crying, that's my baby, that's my baby. And then they asked Jimmy, is this your daughter? He said, man, I can't tell. He said, I'm going to ask you again, is this your daughter? He said, man, I can't tell you that that's my daughter. The film is too grainy. She's a little bit bigger than Karina. She's thicker. She looks older than Karina. I can't tell you that that's my daughter. We can arrest you. He said, what are you going to arrest me for? He said, because you're not identifying that as your daughter, her as your daughter. And he said his few choice words, and he got up and walked out.
Huh. Wow.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely uncalled for. So
Well,
basically, they wanted your son to identify this girl as your granddaughter so they could close the case.
Right. And then, see, I don't know how, okay, I'll abbreviate it. The lead detective at the time was Galloway. Now she's assistant chief of police.
Oh, I've heard of her before.
Yeah, and I told this to the mayor sitting right beside her, and I was looking at her in her face. I asked her, can you please go check Menards? Some lady told me that she was in the Menards with FF's son. And she said, well, when did she? I said, she just got a hold of me. When did she see her? Around between the 3rd and the 15th. Why did she wait so damn long? I said, ma'am, she said she was afraid of him. And she went off. She put her finger in my face in the foyer on their camera and stated, Gerry, this is going to be an ugly effing situation when we do effing find her. And it's not going to be what the F you want. And every effing body in this effing family is going to pay for what the F happened to her. Now, this is on their camera. And I sat there and stated to the mayor with my witness, my main walking girl right beside me, and that woman did not move, blink, scratch her ass or nothing, and did not deny it. And she's assistant chief of police now.
Wow. I have not heard.
I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of being treated like a piece of shit when I've been out there searching for my granddaughter through for 5 winters.
Right.
You know, and they're not doing anything.
And like you said, it's not your job to be the one searching for her. They should be out there searching.
They say we've served many search warrants, blah, 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 but not near detective, not near cop has been on TV, on the local news stations, and stated Karena McClerkin is missing from Kokomo, Indiana. They don't even say her name. Now, the one that is the lead detective now, I guess he's got promoted too. He got on TV and said, well, maybe one day, it's hard to tell a mother that we don't have enough to make an arrest. But maybe one day soon we'll have enough to make an arrest. Well, what about the daddy that's been out there searching for his daughter when the mother has not even held a sign on a corner?
Right.
Has yet to pick up the first rock to find her daughter. My son was beside me on our knees, digging with their hands, moving boulders to uncover his daughter. You know, I'm not wanting any praise for this. I don't want any attention for this. We want Karina found. We need help. That's all I'm asking. And the community, they come out for George Floyd, God rest his soul. God rest his soul. And he was done wrong. Totally wrong. But everybody in the community stepped after that man. Didn't know him from Adam. Just like I have never met you. But not near person has stepped out for Karina like that. Like they all came out. And I went down there. I told my son I was going down there, and I'll hurry with this. I went down there, and I had Karina's signs. And I asked the girl if she'd help me hold one. She said, yeah. They asked me if I wanted to speak on Karina's behalf. I said, yeah. So I'm in the little podium thingy, and people are all around it, maybe 100 people are down there. And I said, I told my son I was coming down here to speak to Karina and speak to you people about Karina. I said, is there anything you want me to say to them? He said, yeah. Ask them where in the F they were when my daughter went missing, because nobody stepped out for her at all in Kokomo. I've had 3 women, my son and myself, and a 12-year-old kid walking to find her for 5.5 years. A motorcycle gang went twice, not gang, but club, went twice. That's it. No black preachers. Nobody has stepped out for her. Nobody of color. One black teenager came, I don't like to say black. One person of color came and stood and held the sign with me. One, for about 15 minutes. He hugged me, wished me well. A lady behind me, she went. And that's it. 2 people of color have stepped out for Karina. Where's her friends? Oh, they walked past you. Oh, there's my boo. While you're standing there holding the sign of her missing. If she's your boo, why don't you grab a sign?
Right.
It's just aggravating. It is so aggravating. And I'm so tired. I'm tired of getting talked about by the police. I'm tired of getting jumped by the police. I'm tired of him talking to my son like he's a piece of crap. When he's been the one, and I've been the one, and like I said, 3 women searching for that girl. And 3 people can't cover an acre full of woods. They know this. They won't bring in the dog. Oh, we don't have the resources. Okay, can you have the sheriffs come in? No, we don't have the resources. Okay, the sheriffs won't come in, the state police won't come in, the FBI won't come in, because Kokomo Police Department has got to invite them in, and they will not do it. It's not necessary.
Right.
That's what they said. I asked the chief at the time, we got a new one, and I asked him, I said, well, can you take the boats out and search for her? We don't have any boats. I said, sir, there are 2 boats over there hanging on Washington Street in the fire station. Oh, those are for search and rescue. I said, what the hell do you think this is? What do you think this is? They have the sheriffs and the state police have diving teams that they train. Take them out on a train thing and have them dive for my granddaughter. We had to have Adventures with Purpose come in. We did. And we had to get a hold of the Q dogs to have them come in. Well, actually, the motorcycle guy, the club guy, he got a hold of them, and they come in. And his sister was missing at the same time. He said, don't worry about my sister. She's been gone too long. He said, look for Karina. So they had to go down and tell the police they were here. And they gave them that address to take the dogs to, because FF's phone pinged too long out there at one time. Why didn't they search it back in 1920s and in 2017? Why didn't they search that property?
She's talking about she's talking about DH's property.
Frank wants to know if you're talking about DH's property.
Who?
DH.
I'm doing next. DH.
Go ahead and give her the name.
No. DH, no. That was a rumor about the motel. The Adventures with Purpose searched behind the motel and a, what do you call them, drainage ditch thing?
Yeah.
One of them things that was deep. They went out there and searched. That was the second rumor we heard about her.
And let me be clear, this family has heard lots of rumors about her. And they're not nice at all.
We've heard rumors that would make a normal person have nightmares. This has totally drove me up the wall. We have heard rumors that he left a file in a friend's car that dropped him off at this house. This FF did, on how to dissolve things in acid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I got into his apartment and walked through and I found the blood, and the guy in there said, I'll show you the kitchen. So we walked to the kitchen. He said, here's the bathroom. I stepped sideways, and there was an old metal shower stall. And sweetheart, my eyes went directly to that drain, and I could see my granddaughter dissolving, going down that damn drain. You know, they tell you these things, these people say this stuff, and they don't know the facts, but they want to come tell you all these horrendous stories, and they don't know what it does to you. Oh, she's cut up in pieces, put in a bag, threw all over Galveston. She's cut up and put in a barrel and threw out in the reservoir. Her head's floating around in the reservoir. I seen it. You know, they don't care. They just want attention. And it's not getting them no attention. It's just driving me. My son has not heard half the stories that I've heard because I'm not going to put him through it.
No, God, no.
Because you don't know what's going on. You know, it would drive a normal person. We walked across bones, run across bones, walking in the woods. And all I could do was stand there and scream with bones. The girls I was with came running. And a girl got down and she ducked. She said, Gerry, it's just a dog. Yeah. I broke down. I started sobbing. Walked out to the street from the woods. And my son calls, Mom, she's at a storage unit. All I could do was say, okay, kid. All right. I hung up and I screamed bloody murder. And I threw the stick that I had in my hand. I scared the heck out of the woman that was with me. You know? Yeah. I'm in here searching for bones. Then I get a phone call from my son. And he's hearing this detrimental stuff. And it's like, please, God, when does this end? You just can't, like I said before, you can't fathom what it does to one's mind. Oh. When she first went missing, it was in the winter. It was October. That when it got cold, it was like I would sit down and fix me a plate. I couldn't eat. Has Karina ate? Is Karina warm? Is she inside somewhere? You know, you don't know. And everybody says, well, what if she's alive? If Karena McClerkin was alive in 5 years, her grandfather passed, God rest his soul. They were so close. She would have broke her own neck trying to get back to Kokomo to get to that man. Right. She would have contacted her brothers, 2 of her brothers or 2 of her sisters. She would have reached out. There's no way. Especially when the cops keep saying, he did it, look for her body. He did it, look for her body.
I can't imagine how you are holding it together except to say that you are so strong.
I'm losing it. I can't remember stuff. I can't think straight. I'm driving in Kokomo and I grew up here and it's like, where the hell am I at? Where in the hell am I going? You know? And it's just hard. And then you get another phone call and another place to search. We just searched this last week. And this guy was loading a bunch of trucks across the way from me into a big dumpster thingy. And I see a trailer. And I go between the trailer and the car that's right beside it. And I'm opening it up and I'm looking in the trailer. And I try to shut the door. Well, it wouldn't shut. And my son was over on the opposite side about, maybe 40 yards. I don't know how far. But, you know, and all of a sudden I hear screeching of metal. And the yellow thing trailer is coming at me full blast. And he threw me against the car, pinned me in between. And it had my little bitty boob scrapped. I mean, I was flattened. And all I could do was bang on that trailer and scream, stop, stop. And I said, it's like through my mind, I'm going to lose my legs. I'm going to get squished. I'm going to get killed right here. I'm never going to see my son. And when I had that last thought, I heard my son holler, stop, man. My mom's in between there. And he stopped, backed up, and it came up about 2 inches from me. And my son said, squeeze out of there. So I got out, and we continued to search. After that, we searched in the rain that day. We were soaking wet, walking in the rain searching for her. But I would lay my life down for my son to find that girl. I would. I made him a promise that I would find that girl for him. and I would give it my last breath so he could do it.
Well,
That's my own style.
I just want you to know that Frank and I mean it from the bottom of our hearts. We're gonna help in any way we can. We have a retired detective that works with us. If you go to True Crime Web on YouTube, that is his YouTube channel. And if it's okay, I would like to give him your contact information because he would like to help in any way that he can too.
Okay.
Because you're right. Enough is enough. We've got to get the paperwork and figure out what has been done, what hasn't been done, who's been talked to, who hasn't. They finally have to be accountable and share this.
Well, they told my son, when my son called down there, he asked for the lead detective. Well, he shoved him off on this Benziger because he's supposed to be on the case. And that's the first time my son had heard from them in a year and a half. And he's called them, and they've never returned a call. And I asked that Benziger one time when I was down there 3.5 years ago, what's it going to hurt to call my son and say Mr. McClerkin was still working this case? He says, we can't call him every day. I said, I didn't ask you to do that, sir. Once every 2 months, every 3 months, can you just pick up the phone and say Mr. McClerkin was still working this case? How long did it take me to say that to you?
Right.
I'm not asking you to sit on the phone 2 or 3 hours, but just let my son know you're working.
Right.
And to this day, they say, we're still working the case daily. No, they're not. I know Karina's not the only one missing in the world. I know she's not. And I pray that everybody finds their kids. I pray for every single body that's missing a child and can't find them. We just want Karina back, just like my son stood there and told a detective last week. And he was sobbing. He said, man, I'm not out for vengeance. He said, I just want my damn daughter back home.
Right. And that's all you guys have asked for is...
I say Kokomo Police Department, and I'm going on record on this with you. I say they know exactly where my granddaughter is living. They know exactly who did it because they told us his name. And they know exactly where my granddaughter's living.
Wow.
Something's dirty downtown. If
Right.
Gabe Ellis wanted to run his mouth, and I'm stating this too, if Gabe Ellis wanted to run his mouth, he could close KPD down with the dirt that he knows on them. Half of Kokomo's snitches. They flip them. And there was another witness. A girl had a letter. She mailed a letter, and my cousin intercepted it and brought it. I took it to them. She states in the letter, I heard Flint Farmer confess to killing Karena McClerkin. I hope KPD listens to me because I can help them solve the murder of Karena McClerkin. When he gets out of jail, I'm going to have to cut my hair, move out of town because he's coming after me next if he knows I'm talking.
Wow.
And she was running with him. She got popped with him when he went to jail.
Oh, yeah.
For drugs.
Yeah, that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it's a total disastrous mess. And it's
Sounds like Delphi.
Piece, a puzzle to fit together, and we can't find that piece.
Sounds like the Delphi case.
Pardon me?
It sounds like the Delphi case, the murder of the 2 girls in Delphi.
I say they know who did it, and they just ain't doing nothing either. Because all of a sudden they changed the picture of the guy that supposedly did it out of the clear blue sky.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. But Karina's case, everybody was trying to link Karina with the Delphi case, and she is not connected. She went missing October of 2016. They got murdered in 2017, February.
Right.
And Karina was involved. If the cases mingled together, the FBI would be all over this also, and they're not. They're not. They won't even speak to us. Call your local authorities. They've told us for 5.5 years.
And your local authorities aren't doing anything.
Including the mayor. Because I asked him to his face to face, you have the power to pick up that phone and call in the FBI. Let me see what I can do. They're still not here, but they'll call him in for a little drug deal. I just got to find out who's over the chief of police. He's never even met my son.
The chief of police, the mayor is going to be his boss.
So the mayor is going to be the chief of police's boss?
Yes.
They're supposed, Goodnight, the one that got mooted out and this one put in, he gave them a time limit on this case in December of 2016. Galloway told me that herself. She said, the mayor gave us a time limit on this case. What are you talking about? We only have so long on this case. What the hell are you saying to me? You know?
So are they saying they could only work this case for so long and then they weren't going to work it anymore?
Yeah, she told me the mayor gave us a time limit on this case. That's it. Well, it's 5.5 years later. Is the time limit up yet?
Yeah, the mayor is the boss.
Goodnight was a mayor that did the beautifying of Kokomo. He just did beautify the trees out, tore up sidewalks, put in new sidewalks, stuff like that. And I do believe that this mayor is the same. I don't believe that he's over the police. I need to find out who the boss of the chief is, and I can't find it nowhere.
We're going to ask our retired detective for help on that.
Hey, Steve, if you're still in the chat, who would be over the police? Hold on a second. Steve, if you're still in the chat, who would be over the chief of police for a small city?
We're definitely going to help you get some answers, Gerry.
I've said more to you, sweetheart, than I have to any other podcast. I have let things out that I have never said before. But like I said, I'm tired of pussyfooting around. We want her back home. You know, we don't care. We've stated. I've said it on Facebook. I've said it before. We don't care who done it. We know who done it. We don't care. Just let us find this girl and put her to rest with dignity.
Right.
She deserves that.
She does.
My son can have some peace of mind. My grandkids can have some peace of mind. My granddaughters will still tell me to this day, Mama, I had a dream of Karina last night. One just told me, the oldest one just told me the other night that she had a dream of her, that she was out behind a school. I drove out and she said they described the house. Believe me, I got in my car and I went out there and I took pictures of every house that she described and I sent them to her. She said, no, those are none of the houses. But they still call me. I had a dream of Karina last night. My little niece, my little great grandbaby, she's Karina's niece that she'll never know. She was sitting in the house with her mama. She says, Riri, she's never met Karina before. And her mom says, what about Riri? She said, outside. You seen Karina outside? Yeah, outside. She's never seen Karina before. Then I got a little movie of her. Her mom sent us, and she said she had her T-shirt on, Karina's T-shirt on, and she takes her phone and she hands it to her mom. She said, "Call her." Call who? Call her. She said, "I can't call her." Call her. I can't call her. She said, "I will." So she wanted the phone to call Karina. She never met her. She's never seen her. She don't know nothing about her.
Kids are the gateway to the afterlife. I can attest to that because when my dad died of cancer, it was 2 weeks before my son was born. And my daughter was 5 at the time. And she used to tell us stories about how she would be laying in bed talking to Grandpa.
Yeah.
And she actually described to us the day that he got his wings.
Yeah.
So
I know people think I'm crazy, which hey, I've never got there. But I used to ghost hunt, and my tape recorders don't work now. But my right hand to God, which you're not supposed to do that when you're ghost hunting. But my right hand to God, I'm outside FF's house, right? When this first took place. the day after. And we're walking through the yard. And Dad's down on the sidewalk. I have 3 women with me, as normal. And I'm talking to Karina on my tape recorder. I said, Karina, Mama's here looking for you. Dad's here searching for you, Karina. Say something so we know where you are. Tell us where you are, Karina. And on that tape, in her voice, she states, you can't find me.
Oh.
I played that tape back to them girls, and they heard that. They said, oh, my God. I played it back for my son. He looked at me, turned around, and walked away. Then we're out searching in the woods, and I'm recording. And I said, Karina, Mama's here looking for you. Did BH hurt you? Did FF hurt you? Did GE hurt you? Please let me know if I'm close to where you are, Karina. Call out my name. And on that tape, my granddaughter's voice came across. Mama, 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 3 times. I about hit the ground. And I had witnesses that heard it.
Wow.
Hey, Marv.
Yeah.
Steve responded. He said, Chiefs are generally hired and fired by the mayors and council members.
I've contacted psychics after psychics after psychics, and they all say water and woods, water and woods. Do you know how much water and woods is in Indiana?
Right.
And I asked her, I said, why can't you just tell me where she is? She said, it doesn't work that way. But everywhere that people are telling us, it's heavily trafficked. You know, they have fishing tournaments at the reservoir with guys with fish finders and depth finders, and they would have brought across something, you know. They tell us certain woods, and they have mushroom hunters. And I got on there and asked the mushroom hunters, please watch for my granddaughter's body where you walk. You know, when you go and fishing, please watch the water. I asked the farmers to watch your fields as you plow.
Yeah.
I even asked one, if you hit my granddaughter's body with that tiller, is it going to stop your machine? He said, yes, ma'am, it would stop it. But now there's nothing left. And like I stated before, if you killed Karina, why didn't you just take her down the alley and drop her off so somebody would find her? Because why? Your DNA was on her. She scratched your ass. You raped my granddaughter and you killed my granddaughter. That's why. That's why you ditched her body.
Didn't want to be caught.
Yeah. And you don't know how many times at night, I can't even watch a woman on TV on Law and Order or any of those special pictures. I can't watch it. I don't know how many times I went to close my eyes and I see Karina getting raped, getting beaten, getting shot up with needles, getting cut up. You just cannot imagine how many times I see this. It's a living nightmare.
Yeah, no one should ever have to go through that.
And like I told Webster, the one lead detective at the time, I shook his hand and I told him thank you after he attacked me in the room. And I said, thank you, sir. I want to let you know one thing. If I don't find Karina now, I'll find her when I'm dead. I lay you money on that.
Right. But you shouldn't have to wait until then.
Well, that girl they just found up here that was missing 11 years. And she wasn't even 5 miles. They didn't even do a 5-mile check for that girl. They found her in a car, in the water, where she went off the road. They didn't even do a 5-mile radius check. She was gone 11 years.
Wow.
And her mama got seriously ill over that. They searched and they searched and they searched. And some kids were fishing and seen the top of a car and called the police. And that's how she was found. But there's nothing left for Karina. There's nothing left for Karina to find. Some bones here or there. You know, we go to search. The growth has grown over 5.5 years You can't even walk through the areas where we did search.
Right.
From the animals to the insects to the weather, there's nothing left of my granddaughter to find. And I said, oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah, there is. Okay. It's just pathetic. But I say they're not looking for Karina because she's biracial. I say to this day she's the only black female biracial child missing in Kokomo, Indiana. How hard is it to find an 18-year-old black child missing? Because they're not looking. They're not looking.
I am so sorry that your family has had to go through this for the past 5 years.
It'll be 6th in October.
6th in October. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to thank you for talking to us and to me and telling your story and telling Karina's story. Like I said, this is just the beginning of our relationship. Frank and I are going to do everything we can to help and get the word out. And I mean, this year's kind of tough, but I come to Indiana twice a year. So next year, if I need to, and I come to Kokomo and we plan a search and get my friends from the area together to help us, we'll do it.
Okay. Well, that'll be more than what I got out of Kokomo.
Right.
And I know Kokomo's listening.
So
Kokomo hasn't done anything for this family.
I've got subscribers from Kokomo. I've got subscribers from Logansport, all the surrounding areas. I will call, and I've got people on here right now, Gerry, that says I'm in, I'll help. So, like I said, this year's kind of tough for me, but we'll see if I can make one more trip out there this year and come and do one search this year at least, and then get a couple more going next year.
I hope it's not next year.
Oh, I hope so. I hope not either. I hope you can find her before then. But
I just wanted to know that Karina was a good kid. She really was. She wanted to come clean. She had the paperwork to fill out to go to Florida for rehab. And for some reason, her phone and her wallet was left behind. And she had the paperwork. It was found where she wanted to go to rehab. And a person in the other side of the family told me, I'm not going to let that happen.
It's not their choice.
Pardon me? Huh?
Another person of the or another side of the family said, I'm not going to let that happen?
Yeah, a person on the other side, or the other side of the family. Not my family, the other side.
It's not their choice whether she goes to rehab or not. It's hers. She was 18 at the time.
Right. And it's just, I've got a hole in my floor from walking and pacing while talking to you.
I know.
I have smoked almost 10 cigarettes while I've been talking to you.
I can imagine. I know that you said earlier, every time you talk about this, all those feelings and memories and everything come up, and everything's raw again. And like I said, I really appreciate you talking to me and telling me her story.
I thank you for keeping her name out there. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yes, and we'll keep her name out there. I promise you we will.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna call you back after we're done here, if that's okay, or tomorrow.
It's fine.
Okay. And just talk with you there and let you know what we're gonna do going forward. But thank you so much for talking with us.
I appreciate you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You take care and be safe.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So heart-wrenching.
So heart-wrenching. I'm so emotional right now. that poor family.
Yeah. All right, we've had some questions on who the gentleman is. We can't give his name, but we're just using initials. We have pictures of him. We have articles about him. We have criminal background history on him. If Jen's ready to pull this stuff up, excuse me, Marv.
Can you just talk with them for a minute? I just need to step away and regroup for 1 minute, and then I'll be back and we can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, like she said, we're planning to contact the prosecutor's office on Monday and file a FOIA request with them to try to get what information we can on the Karina case. We've had some luck here lately getting documentation from different counties, so hopefully this one will work for us too. But like I said, the gentleman that she's referring to, all I could do is give his initials as FF, and yes, he's attached to Gabe Ellis. Yes, and we're pretty sure Gabe Ellis knows exactly where Karina's body or remains are at. But the gentleman has a distinctive criminal record, including attempted burglary, theft, a felony 2 charge in the state of Indiana for dealing in controlled substance, numerous traffic offenses, you name it. He's got it on his criminal record. There are some posts on Facebook about this gentleman. He's on Facebook. Yeah, Kimberly, you know who I'm talking about. So as soon as Mark gets back, we'll pull this picture up. But we did redact his name off everything because we don't want people coming back as and putting his name out there. So you guys have to understand that with a situation like this, because the information that we've been getting is that this gentleman is the big dog when it comes to the Kokomo crew. So let's give Marv a few minutes here to, I don't think he's in jail right now. Give me just a second and I'll check it. Just give me a second, guys.
I'm going to share my computer.
I'm checking to see if he's in jail right now. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. I know he was.
His last offense was back in 2 years ago. There he is.
This is a picture of who she's talking about that the police are saying it is. His initials are FF. He lives, I believe, in the Kokomo area, or
He
did.
He lives in Lafayette now. So
Lives in Lafayette now.
Yes.
Mary says, I went to Taylor High School with him. Bad news, dude. That's all I can say.
I mean, he runs his own business and everything. It's just kind of weird how he's involved with the drugs, runs his own business. Now he's a prime suspect, according to Kokomo police, as the guy that did whatever he had to do to Karina, and they haven't done anything to him yet. So.
And why? I mean, are they waiting for her body to be found before they charge him? If they're saying that he is the one that did this, they've got evidence. So why aren't they doing anything?
It's hard to say. I mean, in most states, if a body hasn't been found within so many years, the courts declare him deceased. Why haven't they done that in this case yet?
But nowadays, you don't need a body.
Right.
To convict someone.
I don't know. Steve, are you in the chat? If you want to come on up on the panel and kind of explain this, how this kind of situation works.
If he's in there, I'll drop the link for him. Gabe told her what happened. Law enforcement won't talk to Gabe.
Gabe's got to be talking then.
Well, she said that he contacted her twice. She went and talked personally, had a conversation with Gabe. And Gabe told her that when the individual brought her, Karina, to his house, she was near death. She was having respiratory distress, meaning she couldn't breathe very well. She had fallen out of the vehicle. He put her back in there and told them to take her to immediately to take her to the hospital.
This is just...
Polly says, I know of a
Steve.
search and rescue team that is a 501c. They charge absolutely nothing. If you
Steve said drop the link.
If you can send me their information, I would appreciate it, because I would like to get a hold of them to see if they can help this family search. So,
I'm going to pull up his criminal records, yeah.
Yep. So, Howard Superior Court 1, Felony 6, filed 7/7/2020, pending theft, has a prior conviction for either theft or conversion.
Yep.
Howard Superior FB, Class B felony, 5/30/2002, decided.
Attempted burglary. Yeah. There it is. There's another dead one. There's Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, guys.
This one's got me choked up, Steve.
I know. It's a sad situation. It always has been with families, and I've seen it time after time. And unfortunately, in most of these cases, there's no good news.
Well, and everything I thought I knew about this case turned out it was all rumors and not facts. And hearing her tell the story is just so heartbreaking.
Well, that's typical. I'll speak to her and go in there how much detail she wants to, and then whatever she decides that she wants to progress with information being let out, will abide by her rules. But I most certainly would. There's a lot of work that y'all did a great interview. Kudos to you. It's a great interview. A lot of information that hopefully it will jog somebody's memory or make someone step forward and contact her, because she's extremely emotional. And sometimes someone knowing that, just the hearing someone plead for the information, sometimes that turns the right person.
Yeah. I want to, with your help, I want to do everything we can for this family to finally help them get going in the right direction.
Absolutely. But like I said, there's a lot to do on victimology and also on just from hearing what she says of the people involved in it. And the time of year, like I mentioned in chat, that time of year being October, you can eliminate a lot of areas, because when deer season starts, there's a lot of hunters out there, and that eliminates areas, because every year there's dozens and dozens of people found. Bodies are recovered due to hunters, and that takes care of some of because when people commit such crimes and they are just looking for a quick dump site, the hunters will find those quick dump sites. The ones that, when it's not found, then of course we have to look at areas where it's not common. And there's certain rules about distances of if she did die and who she died with, how long they would have been involved with the body, and possibly there's certain rules of how long people will stay with a body if they're transporting, and we'll look at all that.
Now, my question to you, Steve, is that the police had told her they know who did it and gave her the name, and if they believe he did it, why hasn't anything been done?
Well, I've been in that situation myself. Sometimes you'll have so much feelings that something happens, but the DA will not pursue. I mean, you know someone's done it, but they won't take it to trial because there's not, or they won't take it to a grand jury for the fact that you only get one shot at this, and if you mess it up, then it's
You don't
done.
get another shot.
And so there's certain times like that okay, we're just stuck until we find and get that final, what is it going to take? And but that's more common than most people ever realize.
Yeah, definitely. So it's once again, they need that one piece of information that'll get them the conviction.
I'm like I said,
I hate that.
That one piece, yeah, of course. They told me they did it, or I saw them do it. Of course, that's easy for law enforcement to say that's what we need. Working a case and finding, like she was talking about, some of the forensics that she saw in that house. I don't want to talk about those right now. When I discuss and find out more on that, because there's certain options that are still available.
Right.
Even 5 years later.
I mean, she flat out said they just want to bring her home and give her a proper burial.
I absolutely understand that. I mean, who doesn't? Most certainly you would like to think that she's a runaway, but just to mention her grandfather's death, that everyone has one person that they won't break ties with unless they're no longer alive. And evidently it seems to be that her and Granddaddy has a special relationship.
Right. Well, we now have two cases that we're going full after, and like I said, if I can get to Indiana this year, we'll organize a search of our own and get people together and do a search. Because she's right, 3 people can't search an acre and do it right, I can understand their frustration and everything.
Well, before y'all schedule anything, let's we'll look at it, and I'll set up some grids and things, and we'll have to look at the. There's a lot of more than just helter skelter going out there and searching areas. I'll try to lead y'all to some avenues of what are the possibilities.
Right. Okay. That would be great. That would be absolutely great. Kimberly says, I'm from there. I'll fly in. Vid Inquiry says, I'll help search. I know as I was talking to Gerry, I was glancing at the comments, and other people said that they would help. She actually just messaged me and said they stated if they charge him with obstruction, they can't charge him for murder because it's double jeopardy. Have you heard of that, Steve?
I have to get that in the proper context. No, I don't understand. But like I said, I just have to get all the information in the proper context. Like I said, sometimes and I don't know all of what Indiana's laws are, and they should be, they should run pretty, parallel with other states. But I just have to see what she means by that, because there could be some misunderstandings there about certain charges,
Okay.
because there's always lesser included charges.
Right.
You might not be able to go for the higher charge, but there's always options that if you can't get them on, say, I don't know what level of murder it would be in Indiana, but you may sometimes look at getting them for manslaughter, which is a lesser offense of
Right.
that you allow someone to die or you fail to report their deaths. If the respiratory arrest and they transported a body from someone that OD'd and they just didn't want to be around. I mean, there's a lot of information that we just don't know yet, and hopefully she'll be able to clarify some of this information for us.
Right. So everyone, I mean, this is just the start of this case for us. As you heard Gerry speak, and if you didn't hear Karina's grandmother speak, please go back and watch this. It's very powerful. It's very emotional. She said that she's never met me. I contacted her for the first time today, and told her that we were going to be talking about Karina, and asked her if she would like to come on, and she says, well, I don't have access to the computer. The only way I could do it is through FaceTime or through the phone. And I said, we can do it either way you want. And she's like, sure. So she came on, and that was pure raw emotion that you heard from her tonight. Because every time she tells Karina's story, it brings back everything as if it was just now happening. So, this is the first time you're hearing this case from Marvin Frank, but it won't be the last. Steve's going to help us, and we're going to do everything we can to help this family. And Steve, I appreciate it so much.
It's anything that we can do for any of these victims and their families. They don't. You think about what they've been through over the last 5 years, and now all they want is just something to close it. It's just a sad that all they want now is just something to bury and be able to visit and bring closure to the case. Truly a sad situation.
Yeah. And according to her, this gentleman that she's referring to is the big dog of the Kokomo crew.
Yeah, there's some options. When she started mentioning some of the lifestyles and stuff, I started doing some research, and Kokomo is a special place.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's all I hear about anymore is anything up north coming out of Kokomo, Lafayette, when it comes to murders or overdoses and things like that, and drugs. Kokomo's, yes, he's bigger than Palladino Digital. He's the big dog.
And the Galloway, the Detective Galloway, I've heard nothing good about her. This is multiple people that I've heard say that this Galloway was like this, and just rude and obnoxious and downright awful to these families.
Well, y'all, you compose yourself, and most certainly, if you did a great job, and so just feel good about yourself for allowing this person to make a plea, and she's a victim, and you did the right thing tonight, and it's good for her and for you to most certainly continue your relationship.
Right. Yeah, that's what I told her. Our relationship is just starting. I'm not gonna abandon her. Now, you get this bond with these family members, like you said, and that's not something that I just will walk away from. This isn't just a story for me.
How many contacts do y'all have in Kokomo?
Quite a few,
Okay.
especially in our Facebook group.
Okay.
So, hey, Kimberly, I see you in the chat. Whatever information, any documentation, paperwork you have, would you mind forwarding it to our email?
Absolutely. Our email is scrolling at the bottom here now. And Kimberly is a friend of Gerry's, so I just want everybody to know that. I've seen her comment, and I'm so thankful that she was in the chat tonight and able to comment and share things with our chat while I was focused on interviewing Gerry and letting Gerry talk. Yeah.
But we're about 10 minutes out, guys.
Yeah.
If anybody's
So
got any
Steve,
questions,
I'll be contacting you here very shortly
Sounds good. And
with her
y'all have a great show
information.
tonight. And keep up the good work. And I'll be getting back with you. But yeah, just either give me a phone call tonight or send me whatever you want to send me, and we'll make either we can get together with her at some whatever manner is best for her, of course.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a great night.
thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
If anybody's got any questions, we got about less than 10 minutes left. You might want to get them in as quickly as possible. If not, we'll just go
Yes.
back through the chat after the live and try to answer questions if there is any.
I just want to thank you guys for being so respectful in the chat while she was talking and doing your thing, and I saw a lot of good comments and a lot of support for her.
We also want to thank the few people that gave us super stickers and super chats tonight.
Yes. Thank you so much. We've been lucky with our FOIA requests where they have not charged us for them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kokomo's going to charge.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I get my hands on them.
And that's what I'll be doing Monday.
Because like I said, because like I said, they have never, ever given any information out. They have actually illegally kept this information to themselves and not cooperated with the FOIA Act.
Kimberly, do you have a story that you want us to refer to? Because according to who I'm reading here, Digital says you have a story on your son.
Sally, I don't know the person's name as to who was supposed to take her to the hospital. But that's something that Steve and I and Frank are going to work on and get further information.
Gabe Ellis is the key. We're not talking about the Delphi case right now, Journey. Even though all this is, we're looking into trying to tie all these cases in together with the same people that's involved.
I actually promised Journey, I told Journey to remind us. So at the very end, Journey, we'll talk about that. I just want to. That woman related to that missing person? Yes, Melissa. The woman that you heard tonight was Gerry McClerkin, and that is Karena McClerkin's grandmother. You're welcome. Oh. Can't stop, won't stop. Yep.
Okay, Kimberly, thank you.
Who was meant to... Oh, I read that one. Every little bit helps. Yes, it does. You got a conviction on your son's murder. Oh, wonderful. I'm so sorry, Kimberly, that happened to your son. Let's see here.
Mary Fleener's asking, what do you mean by double jeopardy? Double jeopardy means a person can't be tried twice for the same crime. They are found not innocent. They cannot be charged again for that same crime.
Thank you, Curly J, for the super sticker. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Curly J.
Kimberly, you're so welcome. And like I told Gerry, this is just the beginning of our relationship with you guys and our fight for justice for Karina. Frank.
Yes.
The way that this went down tonight, you weren't able to really jump in because it was over the phone. What are your thoughts on what she said?
My thoughts are that this woman, her heart is in her stomach and it's been in her stomach for the last 5 years. And she's not getting no cooperation from law enforcement, which is a sad thing to hear because that's what they're supposed to do. And makes you wonder what's going on in that town, just like Delphi, just like Flora, just like Peru, what's
Muncie.
going on? Muncie, and I mean, it just makes you wonder what is going on behind the scenes to where they're not willing to step up and put manpower into finding or solving cases like this. I mean, it's just like when we had our live last night. I made it very clear. I mean, you see these things on TV and it's not all of it's true, but a lot of it is. I mean, you got a lot of these biker gangs, drug lords taking over cities, and they've got the politicians, the law enforcement officers, etc., in their pockets. And you know what I'm saying? To divert them away from these cases, and it's just not right. I mean, if there was something I could do at the state capitol here in Indiana to push forward, I would.
Yeah.
I'm just one person, guys. I mean, it takes a lot of people to get something done when it comes to the governor's office or the state attorney general's office. I mean, I don't like dealing with politicians at all. I just don't.
Right.
A lot of them are corrupt. And I hate to say that about our politicians in Washington, but they've shown me over the years, even when I was in the military, how corrupt they are. If you're not lining their pockets or they're not making something off of it or getting something out of it, they're not going to help the common man. That's just the way it is.
Right. I want to say thank you to Aunt Clara for the super sticker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sally Ann. Her comment, that's why I love your chat so much. Always on the move, condensed, and kept on topic. Mary says, who was charged? Kimberly's son was murdered, and the person that murdered her son was charged. Oh boy, does the name Dusty? Yes, Journey.
Yes.
We've
honestly,
heard lots of things.
Honestly, Journey, we've been told that Karina's remains are on that property. That's what we've been told.
Radar, yes. See what's going on. In Indiana, this is how it works. The town or the county police get the case, right? ISP can't come in unless the local police
Request
ask them to.
Yeah.
The FBI can't come in and work a case unless the local police ask them to. She's gone to ISP. She's gone to the FBI. They won't help. They keep telling her to go back to her local police. Thank you, Vid. Steve, you hit the nail on the head. No drugs run in their towns. No money for them. Bloody corrupt for sure.
Yep. And I believe that's the same thing that's going on in Delphi.
Yes.
And Peru. With Peru, it's the CP ring stuff going on there. And then Muncie, you got the drugs scene there.
Yep. For every missing person that you hear about, there are 5 more that you don't. And that is very true. So, Vanessa has a good question. When it comes to corruption in a town, such as their police department, who does the investigation on that?
I would think the state attorney general's office would. That would be my answer. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I would believe would take charge of everything like that.
Right. And Lollipop, yes, you are correct. The Indiana law, families can get ISP involved if it's considered a cold case. But the problem is that these local law enforcements will not close these as a cold case because they don't want anybody coming in, especially now that law is out there. They don't want anybody coming in and looking at it.
That's why they don't consider it a cold case. The same thing with the Delphi case.
That's why they say that they're still working on it.
It's not a cold case, and we all know better.
Yep. That's why they say private investigators can do a lot of things that the police can't because they have to play by certain specific set of rules that are slanted in the criminal's favor. Yep. Oh, yes. I agree with you, Six Pack. Yes. Somehow we're going to have to get the media involved in this case. I'm just going to do a bunch of brainstorming. Let Steve work with Gerry. We'll work with Gerry, and then we'll come up with a plan. And we'll be talking about this again. Don't worry.
Russ McQuaid, who's a TV anchor for Fox 59 here in Indianapolis, he's in my friends list on Facebook. I'll give him a shout out and see if I can talk to him and see what he can do to look into things.
Yeah. It said she is on which property? I missed that.
The information that we've been given, supposedly her remains are on the Dustin Hopper property.
But
we don't know that for sure. That's just information that was given to us.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to do a lot of things for this family. Yes, Vanessa. Well, I don't know if that specific gentleman will give us permission, but we'll see. We're going to continue working on this case. We're going to do some stuff with Steve behind the scenes. He's going to work with Gerry to do a victimology and all that good stuff that he does, that he knows how to do. He'll help teach Frank and I how to do that.
Matter of fact, he sent us a book, or sent you a book.
Yes.
On that. Yeah.
He did.
A book for us to start learning on how to do this stuff on our own.
His wife. So it says Podcaster's Murder Book. And It's almost like what you have to go through to do your own investigation. It's awesome.
So, but remember tomorrow night, guys, we will be having another live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Spread the word. Get more people over here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up on the channel, go ahead and do that. And if you're new to the chat or not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Would be greatly appreciated. But it's getting to be that time, guys. We don't like to hold up other channels because we kind of wouldn't say it's been put in place, but there's several of us creators who have agreed not to do lives at the same time or interfere with anybody else's lives. This is something that we do. Let them get their live in, and they let us get our live in, so forth and so on. So we're going to call it tonight.
Real quick, we got 2 minutes. Journey's question about the exterminator for Delphi. There was a gentleman there who was working in the area who was an exterminator. He did an interview, correct, Frank?
Yes. Yep. Him and his son were supposedly at Ron Logan's house around the 12th or the 13th. I mean, everybody knows who he is. We might as well just tell them who it is. It's Brad Heath. He lives right off the main trail going to the 501 and the 505.
Right.
Coming off the Freedom Bridge. He lives right off the trail there. If you look up on the hill to the left, as you're walking toward the bridge, you can see his house. So, Brad Heath, who you're talking about, Journey. Yes, hanging with Sonny Brad.
Yep. So, Journey, if you have any specific questions on that, put it in the comment section below the video, and we'll try to answer them here shortly. Everyone, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, for listening to Gerry speak about her granddaughter, Karina. This isn't the last time that you'll be hearing about her story. We'll be doing more lives about her. Frank?
Peace out. One love. Peace, keep.
Have a great night.
Good night.
Thank you to everybody that gave us super chats and super stickers.
Good night, guys.
Good night.